So Richard, can you tell me the main reasons why Fine Gael is opposed to NAMA?
Well, we believe it's a huge gamble for the ordinary taxpayer. Effectively, the taxpayer is being asked to take on not the good loans of the banks, but the bad ones, the ones that are hugely risky, that were undertaken by bankers in a reckless period. And not only are they being asked to take them on, but the taxpayer is being asked to pay too much for them, 7,000 million too much. Now we feel that this is a huge gamble. It's putting all the responsibility on the taxpayer to work those out, not on those who wrote the loans and their investors. And it also has no guarantee that we will get credit flowing. So we are a country that is short of money. We're having to cut back left, right and centre on health services. We don't have a taxpayer that can afford to take on all this extra risk. So we believe that was the wrong approach, and there were better approaches available.
Now, you've proposed 99 amendments to NAMA. Can you tell me about the Homeowner Support Scheme that you've authored?
Well, I think this is one very important area. We hear all about NAMA and how it's going to put its hand out to protect bank investors and how it's going to get the banks off the hook that they put themselves on. But the question is, what will NAMA do for homeowners who are in the same position, who are facing huge debts and perhaps sinking below the waterline? And what we're saying very clearly is that homeowners who are facing repossession should have the opportunity to go to NAMA as well. And that the deal would be that NAMA would force the banks to take a massive write-down on this loan that they issued, a loan that is now impaired. And having got that write-down, NAMA would then turn to the family and say, well, we will negotiate with you a shared ownership arrangement if you can afford that. So that with this much lower price of mortgage now, much lower amount of money to be dealt with, you can enter into a shared ownership agreement with us. Now, some families, that will get them out of their trouble. Now, we have to admit, some families perhaps are so deeply in debt, and these loans perhaps should never have been given to them in the first place, that they can't cope with the shared ownership scheme. And I think for them, what we're indicating is that local authorities would be in a position to buy those properties, that loan book, from NAMA. So effectively, the local authority could, if it chose, become the owner of the house and put that family into a normal tenancy. Now, that would have to be funded separately. That would be an issue for the Department of the Environment, whether it will fund that, because that mightn't be a commercial arrangement. NAMA will be dealing with families who can enter into a shared ownership arrangement and can manage on that basis.
And what sort of feedback have you got from the proposal so far?
Well, I think very positive. Groups like Respond and other voluntary housing agencies have recognised that there has to be something to deal with home repossession. We're in danger of having up to 25 or maybe 35,000 families made homeless as a result of repossession. We need to develop some way of handling that. Now, our proposal is part of a solution, but it's not the whole solution. And I think Alwyn Enright and Charlie Flanagan have been pointing out that we're trying to operate with laws in relation to debt that are Dickensian. The bankruptcy system, the way there's no regulation of debt collectors. There needs to be a whole lot of other reforms as well to try and deal with families who are getting into difficulties. It's going to be a huge problem over the next number of years, and we have to get a system that's fit for purpose, that can handle this huge problem that's coming our way. The existing law is simply not up to it.
So what happens next with this scheme and with the other amendments?
Well, we're entering into a debate. It will start in the Dáil chamber tomorrow, and it will go on all of next week, and hopefully we will begin to see some changes in NAMA to protect the taxpayer, and hopefully the government will also recognise that homeowners are really exposed and that there is an opportunity now to devise some arrangement that will help them. This isn't the last word in it, but it is certainly a help, and it would significantly give families confidence that there is a solution to their problem.